Welcome back to the second half hour of NBC2 News Today. I'm Jessica Babb.
Here in Lehigh, you can see where the Gateway fire was burning all the charred trees and grass. And with those crowds comes millions of dollars for our businesses. But even if you wear a mask, keep your distance, and find yourself outside, a big event could still put you feet away from someone else who's infected.
I hope you enjoyed that warmth today because it is not here to stay.
In the last few minutes, the rain here really started to pick up.
We start with breaking news in Lee County as deputies arrest 2 people for shooting and killing a man.
Rubio says his camera right there is motion activated. And he says when the trespassers heard it come on, they ran.
This morning, Hurricane Elsa has slightly weakened, but still remains a Category 1 storm and en route to our coast.
Well, it is Sunday night football, and we have a big game tonight. Who are you rooting for?
Come on, is there any question about it?
I'm actually at 1 street off Beach Parkway West and Southwest 18th Avenue, and there's several inches of water here, and you can just see the flooding goes all the way back. Experts say with the COVID we've seen over the last year and a half, if you were sick and walked into a room with close contact, you could infect 2 people. With the new Delta variant, if you're sick and do the same thing, you could infect around 5 or 6 people. Starting today, out-of-work Floridians will no longer receive federal unemployment checks.
As we continue to monitor Tropical Storm Elsa throughout the morning, we just saw that new video showing the battered parts of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. They're getting heavy rain and a lot of damage out there. And you'd mentioned we're really starting to see this storm slow down.
Where am I in line on the state's registration website? That is the biggest question I get. People wanting to know if they're next in line, a little further down, or even in the back of the line. Residents say that the gunshots were so loud it almost sounded like fireworks. And you can see the damage. This SUV is just covered with bullet holes.
It's the second shooting at this complex in just a matter of days. And this is where NBC2's Chandler Blackman is live tonight as detectives continue their investigation. Chandler?
A man was taking his dogs out and found this reptile in his lanai. He was afraid the gator wanted to eat his dogs for breakfast.
Thanks for spending part of your Saturday right here with us. Temperatures are still a little cooler than we're used to this morning.
On Thursday, I spent hours directly asking officials if there were any cases of COVID-19 right here in Lee County, but wasn't given any answers. It wasn't until late last night they told us about those 2 confirmed cases. But other roads like Southwest 38th Street, like I'm standing on right now, you can see water is really still up to my calves. Tensions were running high tonight. We wanted to do this poll to gauge how people would feel if the reopening started to roll back. But our time was cut short tonight. A man came up to my photographer and I 3 different times, yelling at us that it was fake, at times even getting in my photographer's face. We were rolling as we came face to face with him for the first time.
You're looking for the right person to give you the correct answer, and then you want to put them on TV.
We're not actually even talking to people.
I sat here and I was following you around.
Stay open or close down. After months of back and forth, tensions are boiling over.
You want to tell the people we want to shut it down. We want to open it up.
How did we get here? What led up to this man yelling at us? Let's rewind. We decided to head to Fort Myers Beach to put a simple poll together, asking people whether or not Florida should roll back on reopening.
But now, more and more people that we know are sick.
I think it's just hurting so many people. I mean, the business owners.
We talked to many people on both sides. People pretty split. Then came this guy.
We want to open up the economy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we want to open it back up.
This was the first of 3 times he came up to my photographer and I.
You've been following us around.
You mind if I
I've
put
been
a
following
yes?
you around too.
The other times off camera, getting more aggressive, calling us and our poll a lie.
You're looking for that answer to shut it down.
The answer we were looking for, the truth on how people felt either way. These outbursts showing a deeper problem of how politicized the coronavirus has become. At times, this man even told us we ruined his teen daughter's birthday. To be clear, this poll was not scientific and we were not fudging any votes. In fact, we wanted to stay out longer and talk with more people, but that didn't happen. We are safe, but we just wanted to show you how divided people are. In Fort Myers Beach, Jessica Babb, NBC2. It was a crime of passion. Tonight, we have the police report detailing Aiken's confession, saying he robbed the Midwest One Bank to buy new tires for the woman he's having an affair with. But the bank robbery bust actually started here at the Sanibel Captiva Community Bank. Acting suspiciously, deputies say Aiken walked in, asked what the bank was named, and then left. A few hours later, showing up to this Iberia bank, pulling on the locked doors. When he couldn't get inside, he ran. But the bank robber getting brazen. Around 4, showing up to this Fifth Third bank, the manager saying it was suspicious. Aiken even asking for water, then once again taking off. After casing the banks, finally making a move at Midwest One, passing a note like this to the teller, saying they were being robbed. Aiken asking for money, getting away with $960. But here's where things get interesting. While deputies were investigating this robbery, Aiken's mistress was getting new tires at this auto shop a few hundred feet away. Moments after deputies left the area, Aiken showing up in a silver Cadillac, even changing his clothes in the car. To pay the mistress's tab, he was caught counting small bills, the manager eyeing in on Aiken's large hands, picking them out from these pictures that were posted. After getting tipped off, deputies finding marked bills, and Aiken even confessing to the crime. Now he's paying a price for a payday, his luck running out while looking for love. We have reached out, but so far Glenn and his mistress haven't wanted to share their side of the story. In Fort Myers, Jessica Babb, NBC2. Pushing, punching, and fearing for his life. That's how Robert Volk describes that terrifying night here at Dixie Roadhouse earlier this year. I sat down with him in an exclusive interview for the first time since the Fort Myers police officers who attacked him were punished, where he says more still needs to be done.
I didn't think I was going to make it out of there that night.
A night out becoming a nightmare.
Thought I was going to die.
After a bar brawl back in February turned into a beating.
I was so shocked it all happened so fast, I didn't even have time to drop my beer.
Robert Volk was line dancing at Dixie Roadhouse in Cape Coral when 3 off-duty Fort Myers police officers.
They started shoving me, and I shoved them both off me, and then they all just rushed me.
Volk even trying to get away.
It was 2 big blows I remember the most, because that's when everything went white. These 3 bones were shattered, and they broke the side of my skull over here. I started choking on blood.
Months later, he says his recovery has been rough.
Permanent nerve damage all through here. I'll never feel the top of my jaw again.
Now those Fort Myers police officers are punished.
I am glad that they're doing something about it, but it does seem like too little too late.
3 officers, Luke Walsh, Robin Vasquez, and Edgar Nieves, suspended without pay, 2 of them temporarily removed from their assignments.
He's going to have an entire lifetime that he's going to have to deal with this, and 2 to 4 weeks just isn't enough.
Officer Ezra Padgam, a witness who saw it but didn't give a statement, reprimanded and removed from his position.
You know, they're in a job where they're supposed to be protecting and serving, and they're out here and beating people almost to death in public.
The Fort Myers Police Department in part saying they hold their officers to high standards.
I think the real tragedy in the case is the negligent security by Dixie Roadhouse.
Volk and his attorney are moving forward with a lawsuit against Dixie Roadhouse.
Take more steps to prevent things like this from happening to people. Some of the stuff is they're never going to recover from. It's permanent.
We've reached out to Dixie Roadhouse for their side of the story, but haven't heard back. In Cape Coral, Jessica Babb, NBC2. Salvatore and Jermaine Farrow were the first cases of coronavirus in Lee County. After a trip to the Dominican Republic, they got sick and came here to Gulf Coast Medical Center. Jermaine never made it out alive. The New York Times even honoring her. A year later, her husband Salvatore still says she was lost too soon.
We dated when we were 17 in Coney Island.
What started out with 2 Coney Island kids
So it was like a world with romance, too.
turned into a love story spanning a lifetime.
55 years in the making. 55 years.
A love story that sadly didn't last.
Somebody had to be the first.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately is right.
Jermaine and Sal, lovers, life took in different directions, finally reconnecting.
Marrying Jermaine was like an adventure.
Celebrating their first wedding anniversary in the Dominican Republic last February.
And that's when the virus came about.
After also traveling stateside on March 4th.
My wife was complaining she didn't feel good.
They were rushed to the hospital.
They put me in an induced coma.
Jermaine died the next day.
I was in a coma for 5 weeks. I thought they put her to a different room or they put her in a different hospital. And then finally they came and said, Dad, no, she's gone. She passed away.
Sal never got to say goodbye.
I just wish God would have took the both of us or saved the both of us. Either way, we would have been together.
In the New York Times, her life summed up in a line: a wife with little time to enjoy a new marriage.
2 years, real good 2 years. That was an adventure, you know. I thought it would be longer.
In the past year since we last talked to him, so much has changed for Sal. From hospital stays to rehab, his road to recovery has been a tough one.
I'm coming along, 90%. Still got a little ways to go and all that. I'll be back again.
But he's alive.
I was joking around too, was saying that, well, it wasn't just not smoking, because I was Italian and I'm full of olive oil. Here I am today, walking, driving my car, seeing my kids.
But even with all of the change, some things have stayed the same.
All her stuff is still in the same spot where we left it a year ago.
The memories of their marriage still lining the walls, marking one of the more than 500,000 loved ones lost from the coronavirus.
I just hope this thing is over with, and I hope less people pass away. It is real. I wish we knew about it, but she probably would still be here today.
In North Fort Myers, Jessica Babb, NBC2.